Is matter pure? Objective. In this lesson, we will learn about pure substances and mixtures, types of mixtures, solutions and their properties, concentration of solution, suspensions and colloidal solutions, types of pure substances. Introduction. Every day when we try to buy something, we first think of its purity. But actually, do all of us know about what purity really means? Let us know about it. Is full cream pure? Take some milk in a vessel. Spin it with a milk churner for some time. After some time, we observe paration of a paste-like solid out of the milk. This paste-like solid called cream contains more than one component in it. It is therefore a mixture. As per the principle of churning, the lighter components stay at the top when a mixture of liquids are spun rapidly. Commercially, for separating the cream from milk, a machine called centrifuge is used. Centrifugation is also used in a diagnostic laboratory to test blood and urine samples. The sample is taken in a test tube and the test tube is placed in a centrifugation machine. The heavier particles settle to the bottom and the lighter particles stay at the top of the test tube. What is a mixture? A mixture is generally made of two or more components that are not chemically combined. The substances in a mixture retain their own properties and they can be physically separated. Many things that we call pure are actually mixtures of different substances. Juice is a mixture of water, sugar, and fruit pulp. Even water contains some salts and minerals. All the matter around us can be classified into two groups: pure substances and mixtures. Pure means a homogeneous substance in which the composition doesn't change, no matter which part of the substance we take for examination. For example, whichever part of a pure gold biscuit is taken as a sample, the composition is found to be same throughout. But in a mixture, there will be a change in composition. Types of mixtures. Take two test tubes. Fill one test tube with water and other with kerosene. Now add 1 teaspoon of salt in both the test tubes and stir them. In the first test tube, we can observe that the salt dissolves completely. Such types of mixtures are called homogeneous mixtures. In other test tube, salt is not dissolved. In a homogeneous mixture, the components mixture is uniformly distributed throughout it. The components of a homogeneous mixture are too intimately combined that it will be difficult to distinguish between them from one another by visual observation. For example, air is a homogeneous mixture of many gases. We all prepare a drink, lemonade, and enjoy its taste. It is a mixture of water, sugar, lemon juice, and salt. If we taste a spoonful of lemonade, it tastes the same throughout. The particles of sugar, lemon juice, and salt are evenly distributed in this solution, and we cannot see the components separately. We call such mixtures as homogeneous mixtures. The salt added to kerosene does not dissolve in it. It is a heterogeneous mixture. A heterogeneous mixture is a mixture made up of different substances or the same substance in different states, which are not uniformly distributed in it. For example, the mixtures oil and water, naphthalene and water are heterogeneous mixtures. Thus, we can conclude that mixtures are of two types: homogeneous and heterogeneous. Solutions. The homogeneous mixture of two or more substances from which we cannot separate its components by the process of filtration is called a solution. Solutions can be in the form of solids, liquids, or gases. A solution has two components, a solvent and a solute. The component of the solution that dissolves the other component in it is called solvent. The component of solution that is dissolved in the solvent is called solute. A solution of sugar is prepared by dissolving the sugar in water. In this solution, sugar is the solute and water is the solvent. In the solution of iodine in alcohol, iodine is the solute and alcohol is the solvent. All the aerated drinks are liquid solutions containing carbon dioxide as solute and water as solvent. Concentration of a solution. The amount of solute present in a saturated solution at a certain temperature is called its solubility at that temperature. For example, take 1 gram of sugar and add 50 ml of water to it. Also take 30 grams of sugar and add the same amount of water to it in another beaker. We could see that in first case, solubility is more compared to the next case. Preparation of saturated and unsaturated solutions. Take 50 ml of water in an empty cup. Add 1 spoon of sugar to the water in the cup and stir it till it gets dissolved. Keep on adding sugar to the cup and stir till no more sugar can be dissolved in it. When no more solute can be dissolved in the solution at a certain temperature, it is said to be a saturated solution. A saturated solution cannot hold any more solute at a certain temperature. If the amount of solute present in a solution is less than the saturation level, it is called as unsaturated solution. Now take the solution prepared by us into a beaker and heat it slowly. Add some more sugar to this solution. We notice that the solution allows to dissolve more sugar in it easily when it is heated. Suspensions. Take some chalk powder in a test tube. Take a few drops of milk in another test tube. Add water to these samples and stir with a glass rod. We find that the particles of chalk does not dissolve but remain suspended throughout the volume of the water. So, the mixture we got is a heterogeneous mixture because the solute particles did not dissolve and the particles are visible to naked eye. Such heterogeneous mixtures are called suspensions. Suspensions are the heterogeneous mixtures of a solid and a liquid in which the solids do not dissolve, like mixtures of soil and water. Let us consider the mixtures of oil in water and kerosene in water. These are special kinds of suspensions called emulsions. These mixtures consist of two liquids that do not mix and they settle into layers when they are left undisturbed. Colloids. The particles of milk appear to be uniformly spread throughout the mixture. Due to smaller size of milk particles, it appears to be homogeneous, but it is a heterogeneous mixture. These particles easily scatter a beam of visible light. Such mixtures are called colloids or colloidal solutions. These mixtures possess the characteristic sin between a solution and a suspension. They are also called as colloidal dispersions. Colloidal dispersions may appear homogeneous, but they are actually heterogeneous. A large number of substances such as milk, butter, cheese, creams, gels, boot polish and clouds in the sky, etc. are some more examples of colloids. Colloidal solutions are heterogeneous mixtures. Colloidal solutions are heterogeneous in nature and always consist of at least two phases, the disperse phase and the dispersion medium. Disperse phase is a substance that present in small portion and consists of particles of colloidal size 1 to 100 mm. Dispersion medium is a medium in which the colloidal particles are dispersed. These two phases can be in the form of solid, liquid or a gas. Thus, different types of colloidal solutions are possible depending upon the physical state of the two phases. Here are some common examples of colloids from our daily life. Tyndall effect. We now know that the particles in a cool fluidal solution can easily scatter a beam of visible light. This scattering of a beam of light is called the Tyndall effect, named after the scientist who discovered it. We may observe this effect in our day-to-day life when a fine beam of light enters a room through a small hole or slit. We can try to see Tyndall effect when we are at home. We can also observe this phenomenon while walking on a road having a lot of trees on both sides. When the sunlight passes through branches and leaves, we see the path of dust particles. Tyndall effect can also be seen in the kitchen, cinema halls, deep forests, etc. Is ice cream a colloid? Ice cream is made by churning a mixture of milk, sugar, and flavors. This mixture is slowly chilled to form ice cream. The churning process disperses air bubbles into the mixture by forming and break up the large ice crystals into tiny particles. The result is a complex substance which contains solids of milk fats and milk proteins, liquids such as water and air bubbles. So, ice cream is a colloid. Separating the components of a mixture. Till now, we have discussed the types of mixtures. There are some techniques to separate these mixtures into their respective constituents by simple physical methods like handpicking, sieving, filtration, flotation, crystallization, chromatography, etc. Sublimation. Sublimation is the transition of a substance directly from the solid to the gas phase without passing through the intermediate liquid phase. Take a mixture, common salt and ammonium chloride in a china dish. Keep the dish on the stand of stove and heat for some time and observe the walls of the funnel. Initially, we find vapors of ammonium chloride and then solidified ammonium chloride on the walls of the funnel. This process is called sublimation. Evaporation of water. Escaping of molecules from the surface of a liquid to gas is called evaporation. Take a beaker and fill it to half its volume with water. Keep a watch glass on the mouth of the beaker. Put few drops of ink on the watch glass. Heat the beaker and observe the watch glass. We know that ink is a mixture of a dye in water. We can separate the components in the ink using evaporation. Paper chromatography. Chromatography is a laboratory technique for the separation of mixtures into its individual components. We can use chromatography to separate components of dyes in ink. The process can also be used to separate the colored pigments in plants and flowers or used to determine the chemical composition of many substances. Separation of immiscible and miscible liquids. A liquid is said to be miscible if it dissolves completely in another liquid. For example, alcohol is miscible in water. An immiscible liquid is one which does not dissolve but forms a layer over another liquid and can be separated easily, like oil is immiscible in water. Separating funnel. We must have seen a mixture of oil and water. Take a separating funnel and pour the mixture of kerosene oil or castor oil and water in it. Let it stand undisturbed for some time so that separate layers of oil and water are formed. Open the stopcock of the separating funnel and pour out the lower layer of water carefully. Close the stopcock of the separating funnel as the oil reaches the stopcock. The underlying principle is that the immiscible liquids separate out into layers depending on their densities. Distillation. Sometimes a homogeneous solution is formed by the mixing of liquids. Some liquids have the property of mixing in all proportions, forming a homogeneous solution. This is known as miscibility. Water and ethanol, for example, are miscible because they mix in all proportions. We can separate such solutions using distillation technique. Acetone and water are also miscible. Take a mixture of acetone and water in a distillation flask. Fit it with a thermometer and arrange to stand. Attach the condenser of the flask on one side and other side keep a beaker to collect. Heat the mixture slowly, keeping a close watch on the thermometer. The acetone vaporizes and condenses in the condenser. Acetone can be collected from the condenser outlet. Water remains in the distillation flask. The separation technique used above is called distillation. Distillation is used in the separation of components of a mixture containing two miscible liquids. But there should be a large difference in the boiling points of the two liquids. Fractional distillation. To separate two or more miscible liquids when the difference in their boiling points is less than 250 degrees Celsius, fractional distillation process is used. If the difference in boiling points is greater than 250 degrees Celsius, a simple distillation is used. The apparatus is similar to that for simple distillation, except that a fractionating column is fitted in between the distillation flask and the condenser. A simple fractionation column is a tube packed with glass beads. The beads provide maximum possible surface area for the vapors to cool and condense repeatedly. If we want oxygen gas from air, we have to separate out all the other gases present in the air. The air is compressed by increasing the pressure and is then cooled by decreasing the temperature to get liquid air. This liquid air is allowed to warm up slowly in a fractional distillation column where gas is separated at different temperatures depending upon their boiling points. Types of pure substances. We can define compounds as pure substances that can be separated into two or more components only by means of a chemical reaction. We now have two types of pure substances: compounds and elements. Elements can be divided into metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. Element is a basic form of matter that cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical reactions. If any substance can be separated into two or more constituent parts by a chemical reaction, that substance is definitely a compound.